Hello, everybody. This week we're going to talk, or this video, we're going to talk about putting packages into Visual Studio for Python. Uh, Generally, or what you probably see in the book is may not work for you, and obviously it was more set up for the other IDEs other than Visual Studio. So this one's going to be particularly just a Visual Studio if you're going to be using it. It's not that hard. It actually is pretty friendly to this once you get a hold of it. Um, but I'm gonna let's just dive into this. When you might this is some stuff we did for this week or this chapter, and you'll see this little squiggly line under the Matplotlib PyPlot, and that's because it doesn't recognize it as a local library. Well, you have to install those libraries. The easiest way to do that is to go up to View, do Other Windows, and then you're going to see Python environments down here near the bottom. Let's go ahead and click that, and then over here on the right top you're going to see a list of all the different ones that you can use. As you can see, I'm 3.6 here. You might be 3.5. You might even be 2.7. It's probably best to go with the threes if we can go for it. Underneath that list is going to be the word overview. What I want you to do is click on that and do packages. Now, it might say pip on yours. And in fact, as you can see, pip is already in there. Either one will install the language and the libraries. And as you can see, it's searching for a bunch of packages that might already be there. But what we want to do is go and type in this word right here, matplotlib. And when you see that, you should get a install matplotlib. And it's going to actually, believe it or not, probably download this. Administrative privileges need to be required to install, update, and reboot packages. And I'm just going to do it as administrator. It probably works better that way. To be honest, I haven't tried it non-administrator. It probably will do it at a local level, but I've installed Python for every account here that it can be used. And you should get to this spot where now the scrolling bar that's going really fast means that it's probably just downloading, and in fact it gives you an update down here at the bottom on what it's bringing in. So these are all available. They just don't store it locally on your PC unless you ask it to. You have to kind of call them up. Mainly just to keep things light. If you're never going to use them, why bring them in and why make a bulkier program? Now, it should transition to after the downloading. This takes quite a bit of time. I just wanted to make sure that this is going to work, and then this bar here is going to stop doing this slow scroll across and is going to go and turn into a progress bar. And that should be right about now, and mine doesn't look like it's doing it. It is actually doing the installing the content packages. Yours might be doing that. That's not a problem, whether it does this one or oh, there it goes. There's the progress bar, and once you get that, it's going to take a while. In fact, it's going to take such a long time that that I'm going to pause this tape right now. So I will be back in a second, and mine will be fully installed, and hopefully at that point pause here, and then we'll pick up and try just a little bit of Python. Okay, let's get back to it. So we're going to test it out now, but it looks good because we don't have the squiggly line under Matplotlib here for PyPlot. I'm just going. Let's just do a real brief lesson, and then you guys can work on this by yourselves. But before I get into it, I just wanted to say this is pretty much how you're going to install a lot of packages, and I think I counted like at least 5 we're going to be using till the end of the semester. So PyPlot, excuse me, Plotlib, Pygale, Pygame, and a couple other ones. Django will probably get used too. So do the same exact thing. In fact, you can just come back and do the video, except do a different search. That's the only thing that's going to change. Let's see here. I was just playing around with some of the things that we're going to do this week, and the key here, and I'm going to just highlight everything out that doesn't. You will notice when you do the homework that everything will be shifted due to the way Python creates these charts. So it'll take data, and you don't need X and Y data. They can just work. It can just work with just Y data. But when it does that, it assumes a specific thing, meaning the first number is 0 for X. The second number is going to relate to this to X equal 1. The third number is going to be equal to X equals 2, or correspond to X equals 2. So when I did this up here, I was playing with it a little bit. These numbers are essentially, in fact, let me even write that. I'll go ahead and do that. That these numbers are not guessed, are assumed by Python. So 5 corresponds to 25, 4 is 16. It wouldn't matter if I changed any of these numbers. These first 6 numbers are going to remain the same. So when we work on this, it's going to be like be according to this. We import a library. We're going to give it a nickname, PLT. We're going to give some data. We can give it as much data as we want. We're not limited. And then we're going to plot it. So we're going to, here's the PLT from up here, meaning that we're going to go into this library and plot according to the way this library does it. And then we're going to take squares. We're going to take the squares info and plug it into here. And notice that this is a list. So you can generate a list just as easy as you can type one out by hand. In fact, I think I probably did that for your homework. So, you know, I could generate the squares list, or I could make it by hand. And then lastly, plotting is an internal thing. To actually let you see it, we have to show it to you, or show it to the user. So when I do a plot.show, now all of a sudden I can see it. So let's take a look. And it'll come up with, it'll try to run the script like a normal in the command line, but since it makes a call out to the plot library, there you go, you get a nice one. Now you guys, when you first start off, this will be shifted over because they'll start, because you didn't put 0 in first, so everything's going to get slide. So on the 0 you're going to get 1, and then on the 1 you're going to get 4. But as you can see, it corresponds. Let's move everything out of the way. 25 is our last number, and sure enough, here's 25. It reads across here, and it reads across again to an implied or an assumed 5 because it is the 6th number. You know, just like arrays, everything starts at 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. We have a total of 6 numbers or 6 points plotted, and you can even see, even though it looks like a curve, you can see the straight line to straight line to straight line to straight line. You know, and if we put enough of those spots in, then all of a sudden it will go from looking like a bunch of connected straight lines to probably a nice smooth curve. All right, I'm going to let you turn you guys loose on these chapters. I do have probably one more video because there's a little bit of a discrepancy in the book, so come back for that one.